All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals for April 3rd, 2019. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Nava.
Here.
Mr. Beck.
Here.
Mr. Sutton.
Here.
Mr. Posilides. Mr. Reichel.
Present.
And Mr. Solz.
Present. Next item is to introduce the members of the board. My name is Bob Solz. I'm the chairman for this year. Next to me is Tim Reichel. Tim is the vice chairman. Dimitris Posilides next to me is the secretary. We also have Jeff Sutton over here, Richard Beck, and then Tia Cernava. She's our newest member as an alternate. And we have our zoning director, Tom Ferrara. Has everyone had an opportunity to read the agenda for tonight's meeting? Is there any changes to the agenda? If not, the agenda will stand as presented. Statement of duties, we believe we've been putting out a copy of the statement of duties out back. So the statement of duties is available for anyone to read at their leisure tonight. Approval of the minutes from March 6, 2019. The chair will entertain a motion with respect to the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Mayor, second.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Beck.
Yes.
Mr. Sutton.
Yes.
Mr. Posilides.
Yes.
Mr. Reichel.
Abstain?
And Mr. Solz.
Yes. I believe you were present though, correct? Yeah, you can have her vote as well.
Okay, Mr. Nava.
Yes.
Okay. New business this evening, we have appeal number 1280-19, that's the Plain Township trustees. And then appeal number 1281-19, William Rutham? Rutham, sounds correct, okay. Fire department comments this evening from Scott Kelly, Inspector, with respect to appeal number 1280-19, Plain Township trustees applicant. There are no recommendations or suggestions regarding the appeal. With respect to appeal number 1281-19, William Rutham, applicant and owner, there are no suggestions or recommendations regarding this appeal. All right. Anyone who plans to speak this evening, I please ask that you stand and raise your right hand. Mr. Rutham, do you plan to speak at all this evening?
Yeah.
Please stand. Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to present is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
Okay. All right, our first appeal this evening is appeal number 1280-19, applicant and owner, Plain Township trustees, 2600 Easton Street, request a variance to place a 72-foot by 144-foot, or 10,368 square foot storage building on the property located at 6281 Heminger Avenue Northeast, Canton, Ohio. That is parcel number 52-80404. They're requesting an 11-foot side yard setback variance, 25-foot required, 14 requested on the north side. A 36-foot side yard setback variance, 50-foot required, 14-foot requested on the south side. And a 34-foot rear yard setback variance, 50-foot required, 16-foot requested on the west side. Is there someone to present this appeal? So, can you please come forward, sir?
Thank you.
State your name and address.
My name is Joe Capley, Capley Studio Architects, 11700 Cleveland Avenue, Northwest, Uniontown.
All right, if you can please state the basis for your appeal.
Okay, basically we have an existing building that's used for storage, and it's basically deteriorating, becoming a maintenance problem, and we're looking to exchange that building with a new pole building, simple building, but it would be about the same size, a little bit larger. What I did here, and in black and white prints it's hard to see, so I just threw a little bit of color on it. What we have is the orange dashed lines, that's our existing building currently. The yellow is the location of the property lines, and the blue represents the outline of the new building. Basically what we are proposing is, I'll take a step back. I have on Heminger, across the street, that's all B2, so I really don't have a problem with setbacks there. The front of the building, we're coming out a little bit further than existing, just so that we can maintain the same alignment in the back of the building. The front, we have, I'll get my cheat sheet here, I'm sorry. Originally, the orange dash line was about a 47-foot setback. We're gonna be about a 45-foot setback. And again, we only needed 40 feet on the front. So the front is not an issue whatsoever. The rear, even though this is all R1 in the back of us, we don't meet the criteria because we dashed here where our setbacks would be because we're abutting a residential. But it shows you that we're not trying to make it any more severe than what's there right now with the existing building. That line, approximately 25 feet, it hasn't been surveyed, so I'm going to say approximately in every case, but we're basically 25 feet setback there, which matches the existing building exactly. On the north side, we have other property that is B2 use, B2 zoning, and again, what we're doing there is an orange dash line is probably 3 feet plus or minus off of the property line. Our new one is going to be 8 feet off the property line. So we're not meeting the requirement, but we are less than what is currently at the site. On the south side, I've got a homeowner and Plain Township that own R1 land there. And again, that would be, as you had mentioned, our 50-foot setback there. Again, to fit the new building on to give us adequate space to store and similar to the existing building, we'll have basically a 20-foot setback. The existing was about 15, so our new building line will still be 5 feet less than what the original building line was. So although we can't, except for the front, we can't meet all of the proposed or required setbacks for new building construction, we're not making it any more severe than what we had with the existing building. And again, we're not changing any of the use. It'll still be a storage building servicing their needs that they have now. The new building, again, a more efficient shape. It's less width than the T shape of the other building. Other than that, that's the reason for our request on those several items. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Is anyone else here to speak in favor of this appeal? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this appeal? All right, questions from the board?
I just have a couple. I drove right around it before I came over here.
Okay.
That was an old storage
Come
unit.
forward again.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That was an old storage unit that had multiple garage doors on both sides of that, the existing building, correct?
Yes.
And the new structure, what do we look, you said a pole-type building, but what kind of?
It's pole building, and Joe can probably address it better than I can. We haven't done drawings on it yet. He's working with a group.
Thanks, Joe.
Excuse me, my name is
Yes, please.
Name and address, please.
Joe Icino,
Can you spell it?
IACINO,
Thank
and
you.
I'll give the trustee's address, 2600 Easton Street, because I'm speaking on behalf of them. It was, like you said, an existing storage building that the township bought like 23 years ago. And the ceilings are real low, it's got many garage doors, none of them work, except for one middle one in the front. We're looking to build a pole building with a large door to get in and out of to park all our pickup trucks.
In the front.
That are in the front, and then there'll be man doors which are required by fire code and stuff.
But no more garage doors going
There's only
down?
gonna be one door in the front, yes.
Thank you. That's the only question I have. What type of siding will you have on this? Is it a wood siding, a
Yes.
steel siding?
It's gonna be a steel roof and wood siding.
Okay. Nothing more.
Mr. Capley, what efforts did you make to design the building to attempt to comply with our zoning resolution?
What we did is basically try to get as close to the square footage, usable square footage that they had with the existing building, and try to, I guess, minimize impact by making sure that our setbacks, our side setbacks especially, were less than and then equal on the rear. And again, that was our attempt to try to be no more severe than what existing, in fact, be less severe than what the existing proposed.
Well, I'm assuming that if you did design this to meet the existing setback requirements, the square footage of this building would be substantially smaller, like a lot smaller.
I'll bring, if I may approach, please. This, and you couldn't see, I didn't put a color on it. This little dashed line right here in the middle would be our effective use group, use area.
And that was gonna be one of my questions, is if you built the same exact building, you'd still have to come to us.
Yes, yes, we would. Yeah, I mean, the existing building doesn't conform. Thank you.
Any further questions from the board? So essentially that, by building it to meet the existing setback requirements, make it fairly difficult, if not impossible, to even utilize that building based upon the size requirements.
Unless
It
there's zoning.
wouldn't fit our
I'm
needs.
sorry, just one at a time. Go ahead.
It wouldn't fit our needs as a township is growing, as we know, with all the newer allotments, and more equipment is needed, and more employees are needed. It just, if we can't go to at least this, pretty close to this size, it's not.
Any, either of you heard any complaints from any neighboring property owners or issues concerning from any other property owners that they have a problem with?
No, I haven't. I talked to the one owner to the north and he said, just whatever you guys want, is all.
Okay.
Come over and see me one day.
And he being the neighbor there right now would hear more of any reaction than
We're right
myself.
across the street from this building.
Any further questions from anyone on the board? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair will entertain a motion with respect to this appeal.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman. Whereas applicant owner, Plain Township Trustees, 2600 Easton Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721. Applicant requests a variance to replace a 72-foot by 144-foot, 10,368 square foot storage building on the property located at 6281 Heminger Avenue, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721. Parcel number 52-80404. Now therefore be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals to grant the request, section 713.3, lot requirements and yard requirements. 17-foot side yard setback variance, 25-foot required, 8-foot requested north side. 30-foot side yard setback variance, 50-foot required, 20-foot requested south side. 34-foot rear yard setback variance, 50-foot required, 16-foot requested west side. Or modify the application.
Do I hear a second on the motion?
I'll second that.
All right, discussion. I would note I'd be in favor of the granting of this appeal based upon the testimony that was provided by the applicants today, demonstrating through Mr. Caplia the size requirements that are needed for the building, as well as the existing location of the existing building. It's really not going to be much more, if any, on one side, not even at all, and the other very limited onerous in terms of the existing building. So based upon that, I would be in favor of this appeal. Any further discussion?
I just agree as well, Mr. Chairman. After driving by it, that building looks like it's about ready to collapse, and I think any structure there suiting the needs of the township itself would be an improvement over what is currently there.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Sutton?
Yes.
Mr. Pucilides?
Yes.
Mr. Reichel?
Yes.
And Mr. Solz?
Yes. Appeal's been granted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, our next appeal tonight is appeal number 1281-19, applicant and owner William Ruffin, 2450 31st Street, Northeast Canton, 44705. You request a variance to place a 24-foot by 32-foot, 768 square foot, two-car garage on the property located at Canton, and parcel number 52-03010. That is section 602.5A2, accessory uses, building structures, 268 square foot size variance, 500 square foot is allowed, 768 square foot is requested. Is there someone here to speak? Yes, sir.
William Rhythm, 2450 31st Street, Northeast, Canton.
Okay, sir. If you could please state the basis for your appeal.
Well, we wanted to build a garage in the size that I'm allowed is not adequate. It's actually just a little two-car garage, if I could squeeze two in it. And I just wanted to get enough room for my toys and stuff. The wife would like to have her garage attached to the house back. She's tired of cleaning the snow off. And I've got it tied up with all of my junk toys.
Okay. All right.
I didn't bring any big charts.
All right, I think a lot of what you've indicated in your narrative, you've indicated the basis for why you were looking for this appeal. Is there anyone else to speak in favor of this appeal? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to this appeal? Hearing or seeing anyone? Questions from the board?
What toys do you have?
Let's see, I have a motorcycle, a 72 Monte Carlo, 55 DeSoto that I'm working on, and I've got our garage that's attached to the house completely tied up with that.
Drove by that as well, yes. Mama wants her garage back.
That's the majority. I mean, she's
In my
letting me
bedroom,
spend
too.
$21,000 to get her garage back, so,
I'll let somebody else ask the technical questions.
okay. I do have a,
I did view it, and you state in your comments that there are much bigger structures within the neighborhood. I'm familiar with the neighborhood. Again, I drove by it. In the lay of the land that you have there, is there any other way you could have repositioned that? In other words, you've got the attached garage, and you're putting this behind the attached garage. How are you going to get to,
around the, the west side,
okay, will that be paved, gravel?
gravel.
Okay.
like the
And was
front.
there any other way that you could position that in the back that, well, we're not talking about setback, we're talking about the size of the structure. You're saying it would be too small if we went with the existing, correct?
Right. I could have attached it to the garage on the other side. That would have meant cutting down a tree that is for shade on the back deck.
Right, and I did notice in the plan that you did submit, the aerial photographs, you've pretty much got that boxed in by trees and other objects that this would not be that much visible to your neighbors.
No.
Sorry.
Have you talked to any of your neighbors? I mean, any of the neighbors have any issues or problems or concerns with what you're doing?
The one house to the one side of me, I was trying to buy the property because I was going to level it. And that would have given me more room. And but evidently he didn't want to sell. He didn't want to talk to me about it. And there's nobody there. And hasn't been anybody there for close to 2 years. And it's dilapidated. And last time I talked to him, he said they sold it, although it hasn't changed hands online. And I have no idea what they're going to do with it. He doesn't want to talk to me about it, so that's my other recourse. I was trying to buy that so I could put the garage over there, and that didn't happen, so now I'm back to square one.
Did you say you're gonna put a gravel driveway to the west side of your house?
North. I believe it's on the west side.
That would be the ones.
Leading back to where you're gonna build this garage? Do you have enough room in there?
Yes. Actually, I've been asked that many times when we
I'm
first
sorry,
bought.
say again, you what? I didn't hear you. Actually,
I've been asked that before, if there was enough room there. When we first bought the house, the ground was not very level in the back, We brought 40 yards of topsoil in. We tandem axle dumps on that side between the garage and the fence, so there's definitely room.
I see from the aerial view, you have a boat sitting there now, it appears.
I think at the time of that aerial, that's where it was.
Yeah.
It's now on the other side.
In a camper, correct?
The camper's right in front of the house right now. Yeah, and a lot of toys.
Any further questions? Okay, Chair will entertain a motion on this appeal. Thank you, sir, you can sit down.
Make a motion. Whereas applicant owner William Rutham, 2450 31st Street Northeast, Canton, Ohio 44705, applicant requests a variance to place a 24-foot by 32-foot, 768 square feet, two-car garage on the property located at 2450 31st Street Northeast, Canton, Ohio 44705, parcel number 52-03010. Now therefore be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals to grant the following request: a 268 square foot size variance, 500 square feet required, 768 square feet requested.
Second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Beck. Discussion. Don't all speak up at once.
Well, I think he's gone out of his way doing, one, trying to acquire the property to the side of him that the owner is reluctant to do anything about. With the other structures in that general vicinity, I've seen it, I've been there, I've walked through that neighborhood on another occasion. I don't see any problems with it, and especially with the allotment the way it is, and those are older homes in there, although yours is one of the newer ones, but a lot of older homes in there. And also the lay of the land and the way it's situated, I don't see a problem with this.
Can I add one more thing?
Now, we're actually closed for it, sir. We can talk afterwards.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Not, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Beck,
Yes.
Mr. Sutton,
Yes.
Mr. Posilides.
Yes.
Mr. Reichel,
Yes.
and Mr. Solms.
Yes. Okay, your appeal's been approved. We'll talk to the zoning director tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Give me a call tomorrow.
Okay. Ma'am, can I get your name?
Barb Rutham.
Thank you.
Anything further? If not, the chair will take a motion
We
to
have-
adjourn.
We have a meeting scheduled for May 1st.
Okay. Busy. All right, move to adjourn, anyone?
So move.
So move, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.